Hey there, here's Alexander from Mantix. So we are here today to talk about hiring intents, which is a great thing for sales purpose. And so we are going to see in different step what is hiring intents, which company can use hiring intents for sales purposes, and of course how to use it, how to get it at scale without effort. All right. So first of all, what is hiring intent? Hiring intent is a kind of a trigger who helps you to find qualified leads. Basically, when a company will be recruiting, perhaps they will express some of their needs, some of their context, and all of that you can use it in terms of prospection. So we call it an intent and a hiring intent because hiring is about recruitment and intent it's because you catch in sometimes in a specific period of time the needs of the company which is qualified for you, and that's why we call it hiring intent. So basically, yeah, that's a sales trigger, if we can say so, specialized into recruitment. So what kind of use case we can have for hiring intent? So the first one would be quite easy. Would be if you are a recruiting company, for instance, if you are specialized into recruiting salespeople. So I have displayed that on Indeed here, and so I would like basically my client would be companies recruiting salespeople. So which is quite easy. I just go on Indeed and go straight forward and type sales. And I will look for basically companies looking for salespeople, and some of those companies will be my next client because they currently need some sales right now, and as I'm specialized in sales function, I know for sure that they need my services. So it could be a good way if you're a recruiting agency to find leads, basically, to target qualified leads because they need your service right now, because they are currently recruiting, for instance, salespeople. But of course, you can use it depending of your specialization. If you want to find companies recruiting engineer, etc., etc. The second use case would be quite close to this one if you are providing some B2B services. For instance, if you are marketing agency, if you propose IT developer consultants, etc., etc. Basically, you provide B2B services to a company, and you provide consultants or even freelancers, depending of your business model, of course. But basically, your clients would need the skills that you have right now, and it would be great to be able to target this kind of leads, this kind of accounts. That's basically what hiring intents are for. So if you're a marketing agency, for instance, let's say that you would like to find companies recruiting into marketing, even perhaps into inbound marketing here in the United States. One way to precise it basically on Indeed would be to use a Boolean search. Perhaps you know it, but well, it's quite a kind of tips in order to have a precise and accurate search on Indeed on jobs. So, for instance, if you are specialized into providing inbound marketing mission skills, so basically all of these companies will be in need of these kind of services because they are quite in a need as they indeed recruit inbound marketing people. So here you can see plenty of details about it. You can see they are using HubSpot, which is great because now you are able to personalize your prospection at scale, and well, basically you contact qualified leads at the right time with the right message. That's the idea. Well, this last trigger, which were to find HubSpot inside the job description, is also another use case that you can use for using a hiring intent. So, for instance, if you are basically a software, perhaps you are integrated with other softwares. Perhaps you would like to find which kind of technologies or tech stack is using your leads in companies. So So for instance, if you want to find companies recruiting SAP, quite easy. You just have to type SAP and you will find that indeed Anchor is probably using SAP, so apparently into plenty of modules. So yeah, it's a very good way to find tech stack and technologies and tools used by companies using job postings. Well, that's another use case that you can have into hiring intents. Of course, you can combine them. You know now that Anchor is recruiting a master data lead. Okay, they are using SAP, but perhaps you are connected with the HANA module of SAP for finance. So perhaps when they are recruiting an accountant, it would be a very good start to contact them. Okay, I can see that you need accountants. You are using SAP. That's great. We have a great solution for that for your specific needs. Well, that's the idea of hiring intent. Another use case that you can use. Well, so now we saw how we can use hiring intent for sales purposes. If you are a recruiting agency, if you are B2B service, basically more generally, if you provide B2B services to companies, if you have a software company, there is plenty of use case for which you can use hiring intents. So now the question would be how to set up to retrieve at scale automatically hiring intents. So basically to monitor job postings as they are published. You have several ways to do that. The first way basically would be to code it yourself, to program an algorithm to retrieve this information from this web page. So we call that basically scraping. You can code yourself a job web scraper. Could be a thing. So basically here the idea, I'm not going to go into details about coding, but the main idea would be to basically find the structure of the page. So here you can see that the specific H2 has also a specific ID for the title, and you can see that all of this page have the same structure. They have all the same structure in order to contain the title, the job description. So yeah, that's the idea of scraping. You just identify the pattern inside the source code of the page, the web page, and you exploit it inside your algorithm. I won't go into more details because it's not about that inside this video, just to talk about hiring intent, how to for which people it's used for, and how we can use it. So yeah, it would be the first method. The second method would be to use basically scraping tools. Well, you have plenty of web scraping tools on the market, for which you can add to a browser. Some of them are headless, etc., etc. I'm just going to present one which is Instant Data Scraper, which is a free one actually, and basically you can here retrieve the information the structure of all this information quite easily, and you can see here I'm able to get, for instance, job title, the link to the source of the job posting, the company name, etc., etc. Well, that's another way to use it. I guess it could be a way. You can't automate it. As you can see, you have to press the button and go for it each time again and again. And you can't after that you will be able to you won't be able to find the contact details for each of the company that you are targeting here for this specific use case SAP. So that would be the second method. Some of those web scraping tools provide other block basically of web scraping. Some of them are for scraping jobs, and then you have to connect it to find leads, etc., etc. Well, you can in some way semi-automated it, but it would require some skills in order to do that, and at the end you will need some time to set up. There is a third option in order to exploit and retrieve hiring intent at scale. It would be to use all-in-one platform in order to do so. So basically here I'm going to present Mantix, which is exactly for this use case to get hiring intent at scale. So basically to monitor job postings and to get the contact of companies hiring. So let's jump into Mantix in order to see how it's working. So basically here you can create a new report. You want perhaps, if we go back on our first use case, let's say you are a recruiting agency specialized into sales role, and you want to find perhaps some companies recruiting sales or business developer, etc., etc., in United States, and you want them from the last 7 days. So you want quite actual and fresh data. You can also use it on more historical data. Could be a way to another approach to get those companies. You can target by SMBs to say, okay, I just want companies lower than 500 employees, and then you can see here basically that we are going to get indeed the details about companies recruiting sales into United States, etc., etc. So I'm going to open on all of them, but I think you have it. It's the idea to track and monitor job postings. You can, of course, which you can't do into web scraping tool. You can, of course, say, okay, I would like to find companies recruiting sales, but mentioning HubSpot inside, of course, their job description, etc., etc. You can use different period of time. That's the idea. All right, here of course we have plenty of job postings here on LinkedIn for remote, and here I can see that they say we use HubSpot, so it's quite clear that they use HubSpot indeed. Okay, so now we are here. Let's say those 100 companies are quite interesting, and now I want to find contact inside those companies. Let's say, for instance, the CEO. Perhaps I want also the sales director, and etc. Perhaps also the person who published the job posting. Could be interesting if you are a recruiting agency, even for smaller company who could basically post the job postings, but also express, let's say the superior of the recruitee would be posting the jobs. If it's a small company, could be interesting. Well, by default you will have basically the LinkedIn URL, job title, the email address of this person, and now you just finish it. Test report, sales, HubSpot US. Okay, you can launch it every day, every week, every month, or in one shot, and with to get it on a specific email address, and that's it. You can launch your report. That's it. The report is launched, and for instance, every week you will be able to retrieve these job postings and to follow hiring intent at scale, both on fresh data but also into historical data. So yeah, could be a way, and you can, as you can see, you don't need technical skills at all. Let's just have a look at a report which has been created. Here it's an Excel file, but you can also retrieve it on a webbook if you prefer some other way to get it. Let's have a look here. Perfect. And I can see here that I have targeted all the company recruiting salespeople, and I want the sales director inside those companies. So yeah, that's it. So you can have it every week, for instance, and that's a way to automate, to monitor hiring intent at scale. If you are a recruiting agency, if you propose B2B services, if you want to have some more specific interest about tools and technology used by companies, well, hiring intents are great for a very targeted prospection. Well, we were from Indeed, and we saw all the option, which could be Indeed to code it yourself, to use a web scraping tool, or to use a full automated platform like Mantix in order to retrieve hiring intent and go straight forward into your prospection, and in the idea to contact your leads at the right time, moment with the right message, which is key for a successful prospection. Thank you very much.